Instagram going live then, I guess.
Are you plugged into it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, sports fans, we're about 5 minutes to showtime. Coming on here a little early just so you can get connected. If you got your lunch going, hope you're having a great day. It's a beautiful day here in Denton, Texas. There, Grayson.
I'm feeling good today.
Hey,
I got to wear jeans today and not and feel comfortable. It feels great.
As always, we like your feedback. Let us know audio and video. We got so much technology going on. Sometimes the board, the audio feed is a little hot.
No, we had
in the audio world.
Some slight difficulties last week. So, if there's anything going on this week, you can be honest on the stream. I feel like we accept advice and criticism pretty well here on the show, John.
Sure.
We're always trying to get better.
Always looking to improve.
If it doesn't sound right, we want to know. Let us know. And if it sounds great, also let us know.
Audio sounds solid.
That'll just make us happy at this point. Oh. That is
Mr. Rios.
That's my new brother-in-law.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for tuning in.
Shouts out to Efren Rios. Thanks for watching, man. Appreciate it.
Marcus Isaacson.
That's also one of my boys.
Audio sounds solid. Appreciate that.
My friend Marcus is actually an audio engineer. He's got so if he's saying it sounds good, then I definitely believe him. Good to know. That's why we come on early. Thanks, guys.
Marcus was asking what the issue was. I think the X factor was Grayson. He had something turned up hot or something. We don't know. It's hard to troubleshoot something in the past.
Thankfully, John came in early and took care of everything before I even got here. So
that's right.
He was already on top of it.
I'm up here all the time talking sports. Well, hey, we're so glad you tuned into the Denko Gridiron Show, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, or over here on Instagram.
Yeah, we're also over here on Instagram. Audio should be plugged into Instagram as well. So if anybody wants to go tune into our Instagram feed and see if you can hear our mics and hear the music and all the background stuff as well, like you would on Facebook and everywhere else.
Yeah.
John, you were already at work before I even got here, talking to Den Ryan, head coach.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that big game.
Don't want to
here
get too deep into
Denton.
it. Want to make sure we get into it on the air.
At CH Collins, more to come on that.
So just saying that the sports talk never stops here in the studio. It's always going.
Hey, also, we appreciate y'all sharing the stream out, or send it to other sports fans, through Messenger. Or
absolutely.
If you're on the YouTube, you can copy that and send it via text message. However you do it on social media. Man, 11:58. We're always on time, though. We respect people's time out there.
Yeah, I guess we were a little bit earlier today, but
Yeah, we come on about 5 minutes early just to get the connection going. People know we're on the air, and then we start right at noon. Is how we roll here on the Denko Gridiron Show.
Going to be a little bit more, a little bit interesting of a lineup, I guess, or a breakdown than I guess maybe our fans have been used to this season. Don't really have any guests today, which is okay.
And that's okay. Yeah, we
Nothing
ran a lot
wrong
of guests. We don't always have live guests, but preseason, we had every coach on.
We got
except
every single coach besides
Flower Mound Marcus.
Yeah, I was going to say Kevin
Atkinson.
Atkinson.
Coach Atkinson on.
He's a busy man with the Marauders right now, so. But we got all 8 of our 9 coaches. I felt like that was pretty impressive, and we even got to bring on Reese Waddell last week from Denton Record Chronicle.
Yeah,
really fun having him on the show too.
Yeah, we like to bring in Mike Leslie from Channel 8. He texted me earlier today, Grayson. He's going to come on a future show.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
So we got guests like that coming in.
Why didn't you tell me earlier? No.
Also, Coach Florence, Denton ISD Athletic Director. He usually comes on. a show or two each season to talk about all things. Former Denton Ryan coach and now athletic director. He likes to stay in the game, of course. So
got a lot of games to talk about this week. Both the first round of 5A, 6A games that came this past weekend, as well as look ahead to this Thursday and Friday for this week's matchups as well.
Hey, Grayson, I do want to kick things off here with share a message from our friends at Marty B's, great partner of the show. Marty B is right there in Bartonville. Man, great Texas atmosphere, live music, good food, great memories. If you want to reserve a space, maybe for a holiday party, you can go to martybsplace.com. Man, from appetizers to really nice, I think it's 44 farms where Marty gets his meat. It's awesome. Grass-fed, it's all pretty much organic, good quality food, appetizers. Check them out, martybsplace.com. And then also our friends at Bud Bartley Homes. Man, they are based right there in Flower Mound, right off 1171. Go to budbartleyhomes.com. They're building in 3 neighborhoods currently, and they can build on your lot. If you have a lot, maybe you've been sitting on for a couple years and want to build a quality custom home, our friends at Bud Bartley can take care of you. Matter of fact, they built my home over 16 years ago, Grayson, and it's still holding up nicely.
That's so awesome to hear. Not through Bud Bartley, but my parents are actually building a house all the way down there in Austin right now. And I mean, all I can say is that is a very stressful process. And I know that Bud Bartley and Company will definitely take care of you and just make sure that you get the house that you desire and that you dream of.
Hey, one thing we do want to do, actually, Marty B has provided us some gift cards. We have all kinds of friends of the show. Grayson, you probably learn something new about this every week. But our friends at Suckle Busters been partnering with us for a couple seasons now. If you're going to have someone cook the food for you, go see Marty B. But if you want to cook it yourself, I've been smoking some ribs and brisket with Suckle Busters.
Oh, is that what you've been using?
Yeah.
Okay,
good stuff.
cool.
And we're going to be giving away some of these gift packages. That'll be a more formal way to do it. But if you'll comment in the, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, or even over here on Instagram, just in the comments section, just type in BBQ for barbecue, and we'll somehow get them registered for some giveaways. We'll be giving away some Marty B's gift cards and some Suckle Busters tailgate packages. You can tailgate at the house all season long.
Yeah, all season long. It is football season. Finally, football, you just mentioned it earlier, football weather finally starting to roll in, starting to cool down a little bit here in North Texas. So it's definitely football season. It feels like football season. And, got our first round of games to talk about this week.
Well, Grayson, let's kick things off. Denton Geyer
diving right into
on the road at Hebron. I was there. I do radio for Denton Geyer, so I'm a little close and up front to that program. But Geyer wins. It got off to a slow start. I know you were doing the Louisville game, but got off to a slow start. They were actually down early in that game with about 8. One of the storylines was about 8 minutes left in the first half. Geyer had failed to score, but they ended up putting 56 on the board.
Wow. So, I mean, that much of a slow start, and they must have just jammed their foot on the gas pedal all of a sudden, huh?
Yeah, Eli Stowers, he came back from a ACL injury last season, so he probably had a little jitters, first game back.
Yeah, we talked about it that, thankfully, that was actually one of the positives that the Wildcats were able to take out of this offseason was Eli Stowers having more time to recover and eventually start on game 1. So that was great to see.
Yeah, great to see him out there. He was 13 of 18 for 199 yards, 2 touchdowns. It looked like he was going to try to throw it out of bounds, but there was a safety that rolled over there, and he had a pick. Records 1 interception. He had 6 carries for 43 yards as well. I know Coach Webb probably doesn't want him running the ball a whole lot early this season. I was going to
say, I'm sure he's giving Coach Webb heart attacks on the sideline.
And when he was running, he's a big kid. 6 goes maybe as big as 6'4", probably 215 pounds.
There's a reason he's going to the SEC.
He doesn't lower his shoulder. He's not going to be lowering his shoulder and try to gain an extra yard or two. He's going to take it out of bounds, and that's what we saw on Friday night. We'll talk BJ Phillips man, he fills the hole that Cadric Cobbs left graduation to headed to UT San Antonio. BJ Phillips, 13 carries, 152 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he's a big kid, Grayson, 6 foot, about 215 pounds, but he broke one for 91 yards. I thought, surely one of those guys is going to catch him at about the 50, but he just put it in a little extra gear, and moves good for a big man.
And I watched that run in the highlights, that 91-yard run that he had. And I thought the same thing. I was like, man, I knew he was a kind of a bruiser of a running back, but breakaway speed is one of those things that's kind of that X factor with running backs. And he definitely showed it off on that play. Great to see that performance that he had. 3 touchdowns, over 150 yards, beast.
Well, hey, we got Toya P. She's tuned in. She types in BBQ and she says, go Wildcat. So I assume that's a Guy Wildcat fan, but yeah, if you're just now tuning in or watching this on the replay, just put in BBQ in the comments, whether you're watching on YouTube, Instagram over here, Twitter, Periscope, or on the Facebook page. And we're going to register you, and we're going to have some giveaways throughout the season. So we appreciate y'all tuning in. Well, Grayson, the receiving core played well for Gars.
Yeah, the other Grayson had a fantastic game. Grayson O'Bara, who, just an amazing story. His journey with the Wildcats, 5 catches, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. If anybody deserved a great performance and a bunch of looks this week, it was Grayson O'Bara, and he definitely got it.
Yeah, we did a story on him during the halftime show, and almost lost his arm, and just to be back on the field in the beginning of last season, broke his collarbone, and then just kept working his way back. Just a great message of patient persistence, and had a big game. Had actually 2 big catches called back due to early season penalties.
It's it's just amazing story, and there's just so much more that even goes into it, and just that journey to get back on the field, and to not only see him get back on the field, but to perform the way that he did in week 1 was amazing to see. And just to credit Den Guyer a little bit more, their defense looked really nice as well. Have forced 2 different turnovers, and Deuce Harmon even snagged himself an interception.
Yeah, good stuff. Hey, moving on, Denton Ryan. I had a chance to talk to Coach Hennigan this morning. But we'll talk more about that after this. Yeah. But Denton Ryan opens up their season. They got the call UIL moved them from a C.H. Collins game to AT&T Jerry World,
the Death Star,
against Arlington Martin for the first of a doubleheader. They played at 4 p.m. This past Friday. Ryan, big win against 6A Arlington Martin, 47-24.
That is a huge win for the Ryan Raiders. What a way to start your season at AT&T Stadium against one of the best teams in 6A, the Martin Warriors. Just a fantastic performance, 47-24, the final score in that one. And the Ryan Raiders just performed in every facet. Passing, running the ball, looked solid on defense, forcing 3 turnovers, and man, that was probably the best matchup out of any of our teams of this week, and the most interesting one at that. And just a great win for Seth Hennigan, or Dave Hennigan and company.
Yeah, you mentioned Seth Hennigan.
Yeah.
He's the Memphis commit, Coach Hennigan's son. And what's cool about Texas high school football, Grayson, is we see a lot of coaches' kids. A lot of times quarterbacks, but not always.
We've got 2 of them on the show, both Den Ryan and Liberty Christian, kind of have a coach son.
Yeah, it's always a neat story. Seth goes 19 of 30 for 222 yards and 3 touchdowns.
No picks.
Yeah, very efficient back there. Kiori Hicks, he's been a 3-year starter, but had to really share the spotlight with Imani Bailey last season. He has 15 carries for 106 yards, 1 touchdown, but he's a good hands guy out of the backfield, 2 catches for 30 yards.
Yeah, Seth Hennigan also had a rushing touchdown in this one. Not a ton of rushing yards, but 4 total touchdowns on the game. Didn't make any mistakes, which is, something that I'm sure that his dad, Dave, was asking out of him. When you're playing a team like the Martin Warriors, you're like, look, this team's these are some big boys out here. You cannot make mistakes. You wanted to win the turnover battle in this one. They knew that was going to be huge in this matchup, and they definitely came out on top because of that, in my opinion.
I'll tell you what an athlete, one of the top recruits in the nation. He's headed to Texas. Jatavian Sanders plays, in 5A you see, and 4A you see a lot of players that play both sides of the ball. Jatavian goes about 6'4", 240, plays wide receiver. He's got some speed for a big man. Grayson, but also plays the defensive end position. He had 2 touchdowns as a receiver, and then he had one big one-handed grab as a defensive end and took it to the house for another touchdown. What a player he is, and going to be fun to watch all season.
Standout job for Jatavian Sanders. 7 catches, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's about 18 yards a reception. Crazy impressive for a guy that also plays linebacker full time on the other side of the field. And of course, the other Texas commit, Billy Bowman Jr., he had to get himself in on the action too. He had just a couple catches, but he was able to get in the end zone as well.
Yeah, Billy Bowman's another one of those athletes. His dad's on the coaching staff, plays cornerback and
Both
receiver.
Those guys play both ways. It's just crazy.
And in addition to that, Jatavian is the punter. And,
I didn't know that.
Denton Ryan didn't have to punt a whole lot.
Oh my goodness.
But then Billy Bowman's also the punt and kickoff returner. So they don't come out of the ball game too much. They get a few breaks, couple snaps. But man, what athletes they are. And several other Denton Ryan players have to play both ways as well.
And like I said, they won the turnover battle in that one against Martin too, first forcing 3 turnovers. They had an interception and 2 fumbles. Just huge X factor in coming out on top in a big way in that game. And now it's an even bigger matchup for Denton Ryan and Denton Guyer this week as they go head to head. CH Collins matchup Friday night. Definitely the biggest matchup for our show this week.
Yeah, I had a chance to visit with Coach Webb on Monday, and this morning I was talking to Coach Hennigan about the matchup. Both coaches, they're excited about the matchup, but, as you can imagine, successful coaches are focused on just getting better. Both of them commented that this game is not about, playoff victory or, bragging rights. It's about getting better. And, it's early in the season, so Coach Webb's still getting his offense in place. Coach Hennigan, I'll have to say, I think Coach Hennigan and the Denton Ryan Raiders have a little edge in this one.
Wow, you really think so, huh? And I mean, you're kind of I know you like your Wildcats, but wow, that's quite the opinion.
I mean, Newspaper Steve especially, and he sneaks around and watches these replays. He calls me a homer, but I just try to call it like I see it. Grayson.
Hey,
that's our job, right?
Hey, absolutely. And you know what? You can't discredit Denton Ryan and for you having that opinion at all. When they just went out against one of the best 6A teams there are in the land, the Martin Warriors, in a big situation at AT&T Stadium, fans or no fans, that's a huge game, huge situation. And you're the underdogs, despite how talented you are. And they go out there, set a statement, 47-24. Absolutely. I think that they're definitely sending the message to Guyer, like we are not just another 5A team. We've got our eyes on one thing, and that's a national championship.
It's going to be a great atmosphere too, since both teams call CH Collins the home stadium. They'll have both bands there.
Yeah, it's kind of a home game for the both of them.
The SOS, I think they call it the red zone.
Yeah, and you and I kind of talked about this in past shows that, with the COVID regulations and everything going on, it's going to be hard to keep Denton high school football fans away from CH Collins this Friday. And I know that the UIL and company and the CH Collins staff are going to do everything they can to keep everything.
Yeah, I believe it's 50% seating. So there's going to be about 5,000 people there.
Be capped out.
About 5,000.
50% will be capped
seats
out.
About 10 or 12,000. So it'll be about 5,000 there. I know Channel 8's going to be up there doing a live stream. We'll be doing radio.
That's good to hear. So if anybody doesn't want to go because of COVID issues, you can definitely watch that live stream. So that's great to hear as well.
To the radio feed as well. But man, exciting times there at CH Collins on Friday night, 7:00. Going to be ideal weather conditions for all the games this week, and just perfect football weather. Here this fall.
It's going to be awesome. Going to be an absolutely just electrifying matchup. There's so many matchups all over the place that are just so intriguing to look at. Deuce Harmon going up against probably both Billy Bowman and Jatavian Sanders throughout the game. Both quarterbacks going head to head, 2 great head coaches going ahead. It's just, absolutely fantastic matchup. I'm really excited to see how it goes.
The whole community is excited about that one. Hey, thanks Kelly McClary for tuning in. She's a Braswell Bengal fan. We appreciate that.
Well, we can go ahead and talk about the Braswell Bengals right now.
Well, let's just stay in.
I think we got Lake the Broncos Dallas here first.
Lake Dallas, Denton High, and that's a nice crosstown rivalry game. Denton got the better of that one last year, but
2
Lake
different
Dallas,
teams that we both cover on this show.
Lake Dallas had the edge this week, Grayson.
20-3, the final score in that one. Definitely a more defensive based affair. And you got to give a lot of credit to Lake Dallas's defense. They did a great job of almost shutting down Denton High's offense for a majority of the afternoon. They forced 2 turnovers. They got an interception and a fumble, allowed less than 2 yards per carry with Denton High's rushing attack, and allowed less than 100 yards passing. Just a fantastic performance